We've talked about the overdone female tropes in terms of design for Genshin Impact, and now it's the male's turn. You are welcome to agree or disagree with me at any point, just remember to keep it respectful. I'm not an expert, I just like to talk about character design for fun. Firstly, there's not many male characters as opposed to their female counterparts. As of writing this video, there are only 36 male characters out of a roster of over 100 plus. Out of these 36, 21 of them have the shorter male model, leaving 15 of them to be the taller male model. Not too bad in terms of balance here. Just for fun, it looks like 19 of them are 5 stars, while the rest are 4 stars. This is also being written before the official release of Lua for some context. I honestly was ready to sit down and break the cast down like I did in my original video, but there's not a ton of overlap with the male designs that we have. This is partially due to there being way less of them, but so far the design balance isn't crazy. The most notable thing I saw that the male cast shared were a lot of the same pant styles. You can only do so much when stylizing pants, so bear with me here. The characters that seem to have poofier pants are Tighnari, Kanish, Goro, Chongyun, and Kaya Skin, Razor, Ito, Xiao, and Gaming. If you want to get a little pickier, you might be able to include Venti's poofed shorts or Toma because his jeans poof up right where it connects to the boots. Without the last two mentioned, that's 8 male characters and one of their skins that fall into this. So I decided to look at the polar opposite. How many of our male cast have those tight-fitted jeans or pants? Zhongli, Child, Baizhu, Durin, Ryozli, Flint, Alhaitham, Nuvalet, Ayato, Diluc, Aoife, Kaya, Albedo, Auroron, and Kave. Maybe you could also include Sethos in this, as it's still pretty tight. His pants just stop around the calves. Without him, that's still 15 male characters that have pants like this. Then again, when it comes to male clothing, they are far more limited. You can only get so fancy. I also thought it was interesting that Durin and Albedo are the only shorter male characters with the tighter pants. And since we've made it this far talking about pants, we may as well look at the characters that are wearing shorts. We have Xingqiu, Venti, Lini, Fremine, Dahlia, and Wanderer that have these shorter shorts, while characters like Bennett, Kazuha, Heizo, Saino, Mika have mid-length shorts. I guess Wanderer is in a bit of a gray area because he has longer shorts but wears them pretty high up on his waist. I'll let you guys decide on that. And to no one's surprise, not a single tall male character is wearing shorts. It's either tight pants or puffy pants. But hey, at least most of our male cast has practical footwear. I forgot to bring this up in my female counterpart version to this, but a lot of them are wearing high heels. There's only a few off the top of my head like Hu Tao and Dori who aren't gonna have destroyed feet by the end of the day. We do have a few male characters with thigh highs, however. This is a very loved design element from Hoyoverse, as 20 of the female cast has them, but for the male cast we have Ryozli, Ito, and Albedo. These are the only ones with the really tall thigh high boots, but a lot of the male cast does have boots or shoes that end right under the kneecap. As a quick addition, out of the 5 male skins, we have 3 of them that are blue. I brought this up in my other video, so I wanted to make sure I addressed it here. For one last element, I wanted to see how many male characters are covered up. This was a huge point in my other video, as many of the female cast had unnecessary skin showing. I do want to clarify that having skin show isn't a bad thing. Having a character be sexy isn't a bad thing either. I don't want the sexiness of a character to feel out of place or forced because the banner sales need to hit a certain threshold. I hope you all understand what I'm trying to say here. For the male characters that are mostly covered up, we have Durin, Flins, Aoife, Sethos, Gaming, Ryozli, Nuvalet, Alhaitham, Kave, Mika, Tighnari, Ayato, Toma, Kazuha, Albedo, Child, Zhongli, Venti, Chongyun, Bennett, and Kaya. That's more than half of them. That is pretty much covered from head to toe. We have some characters with some of their torso showing like Baizhu, Goro, Ito, and Saino, or they're wearing shorts so that their legs are exposed. An argument I hear a lot is that if the female characters are going to be sexualized, to make it fair game, give the male characters the same treatment. Let me know if you agree with this or not in the comments. I'm happy to say that there aren't many repeating tropes for the male cast of Genshin Impact. Maybe it's because there's a different approach when designing them, maybe it's because there's just not as many to look at. I had to comb over double the amount of characters for my female video on this topic. Really, the only thing I can add is that a lot of the male cast is quite feminine, but that might be a result of art style. Maybe we'll get more Varka-like models for men in the future, who knows. So instead, I'll be spending the rest of this video showing off some of the unique designs. We have 2 characters that wear suits in Zhongli and Ayato. Even so, the suits are different enough from each other to remain distinct. Zhongli's color scheme fits that of the Geo Archon, plus the lore tidbit that one of the old Yakshas made it was a really nice detail. Ayato still has those unique sleeves that the Inazuma cast has, even if he is wearing a white suit. My nitpick against this design is that the white suit must get so dirty when he starts to fight. He has that one move where his knee touches the ground, and I bet it would be covered in dirt immediately if it was accurate to real life. I have to bring up my my boy Venti next. He's one of the older designs, but he still stands out in an interesting way. Genshin does have a lot of feminine looking men, and Venti does not escape this either. I thought he was a girl at first when I first met him in the story. Sorry, bro. However, he has these tights that go with his shorts, which I don't think any other male character in the cast has, except for maybe Kazuha. His colors are well balanced throughout, and his hairstyle with the two braids in front is Blins is a newer character that is almost exclusively monochromatic, aside from the little burst of purple near his chest and his hair color. When you see a lot of the same color, I notice that the designers will instead rely on layering the clothing. We can see this influenced design as he has coats, boots, leg straps, and silver accents to break everything up. One thing I do hate about his design is the damn mullet. I wish I could take scissors to his hair and cut off that part. When I think of unique Genshin characters from the male cast, Linny is one that pops up to my mind too. He's also a very feminine male character, but he screams a magician, which he is. I like that he has a jumpsuit going on and is wearing just normal boots. Having him match his twin sister was a great choice stylistically and thematically, but he does have the darn detached. Wanderer has been a unique design since his introduction as Scaramouche, and I remember many were worried when it was revealed that his playable version would be redesigned. Thankfully, they kept one of the most iconic part of his design, being that hat of his. I also like that he has a lot of lighter teal colors, but there's still a little purple remaining on his design as a small callback to his older version. I have to give some spotlight to the one and only Ito. He's got done so dirty with his 3D model, but I remember how excited the player base was to see this character come to life. He's supposed to be a tougher looking guy, and if he got the muscles he deserved, I think they would have been successful in pulling this off. I love the usage of gold, red, and black throughout his design, and one look at him is all you need to know that he's an Oni. I also really like the tattoos or skin markings that both he and Kuki Shinobu have. It's unique, and the only other ones I can think of are the Natlanese markings that you can unfortunately barely see. There's one that we can kind of see, which is Auroron's, because they made his markings black as opposed to a very light. That's going to wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and consider subscribing. If you haven't watched my female design trope video, I recommend you jump over there next. The female cast was a lot easier to see repetitions for. I also want to say thank you guys so much, as we just hit 7,500 subscribers. That's really cool, and I hope to continue making content you'll like. I hope to see you in the next one.